Welcome back to Hustle Adjacent. I'm Arianne.
And I'm Kelly. And today we're going to discuss evolving ambition and really how peace or being adjacent to the hustle sometimes requires that you release goals that you've had for years and finding what can define you in the future.
Yeah. I mean, I think that has been pivotal in the last few years for me. I know you and I have talked about this on our calls, just the changes in how our businesses are structured now versus what we thought they would be even 3 or 4 years ago. And with that change, especially if you know that the changes are right, you feel like you're on the right track now. I'm learning that I am confident and at peace with the change, and I'm unbothered, sort of, because there are also things that I kind of grieve in what I thought my career would look like at this point, or the milestones that I would achieve that I've had to be okay with. I see others achieving them, but I've got to like check myself. Like, are you still cool? Are you still good? Are you unbothered?
You know what? Why don't we start with this? Why don't you, because I know you had your 20-page document.
Oh, it was more than 20 pages, girl.
Oh, it was more than 20 pages. Why don't we start with what were kind of the career milestones that you thought you wanted to achieve? Because when it's my turn, I had the 20-person org chart. My name was under all the names.
Yeah.
But so why don't you start with what you thought you wanted, and then that'll help lead the conversation into like what you think you want now or what you're figuring out.
Yeah.
What you know you don't want anymore.
That's true. I had a lot of my dream was actually what you have been able to achieve. So I wanted a firm that was certainly known as one of the top firms in the Southeast region. I wanted to have projects all over the globe. I wanted to have a team that was a 20-person team, not just because I wanted an entourage, but also
entourage is kind of fun, though.
It is kind of fun. I like people, and we have fun.
Yeah.
But really, the reason I thought it had to be a team of at least 20 was because I wanted everybody to be able to come to my organization and be able to do what they were uniquely positioned to do. I didn't want people to have hybrid roles or feel like, I'm competent at this thing, but I'm really, really, really good at this thing. And if I didn't have to split myself in two to do multiple functions, I could be excellent at this one thing. So when I mapped out and took the time in 2022, I think I told you, to write out the dream business plan and experience for my clients, it required 20 different roles. And I knew that was a big leap. But again, the responsibility that I had as the vision caster for my organization was to make sure that everybody could come to wanted to work for me, number one, could come and bring their best, but also had a path for growth. So you had levels, right? You could aspire to go from junior to senior to director to creative director, et cetera. Long story short, that's a lot to chew. But in the effort of being a globally known interior design firm, I also wanted to have things like being in AD 100 and on the A-list for Elle Decor magazine and being invited to speak on stages. And I just really wanted to be a mover and shaker in the industry. That's what my dream was. What about you?
I feel like I wanted to run a successful business. That was always my highest goal. And to me, that meant having multiple people, having a team of, 10, 15 people, and each person kind of did what they did. And I didn't have to do most of the work. I could be the person bringing in, I could be the rainmaker, and I could be the person that was, speaking and being out there. I will say that the one big difference for me is I never craved like a list, right? Necessarily. I used to always say, I don't really want to be famous to other designers. Like, they're not the ones hiring me. I don't it'll be nice. I'm a super social person.
Yeah.
And so what I would say at some point, once I started getting more recognition or just honestly being more present, that I was invited to speak on panels and I would be, and so that stuff becomes addictive, right?
Yes.
And so there was a point when I was at the highest number of people I've ever had where I remember we rolled into High Point 7 people deep.
Whoa.
And they went, and I had great senior designers at the time, and they showed everybody around to the show, to the different
showrooms.
I didn't even go with them. Everybody had to do a presentation when we got back so they could show their favorite stuff.
I love it.
I was just on panels and networking and talking to people. And I was like, this was really fun. But at the same time, it also required a ton of overhead. I mean, we were living high on the hog. Like,
And
we had our retreat in Napa.
I was going to say, I remember y'all, I wanted to be on your team. Wait, you're giving your team members a retreat to Napa?
We had a retreat on Napa. We had a photo shoot.
Amazing.
I had a branding and social media manager. Like, it was just overwhelming and it was great.
Yeah.
But the amount of overhead it created and the work quality wasn't getting better, right? Like, there's a part of me that thinks that it was still good, but it probably was better when it was just 3 of us, right?
Yeah.
And I think that the biggest thing about that was missing from that goal, or the thing that my main goal and I wasn't achieving it, was to have bigger and better projects.
Right.
So we were getting to that $3 million number or whatever it was with a lot of small projects.
In there.
And so as anybody who does this kind of work knows, a person who has $50,000 to spend is going to take just as much time as somebody who has $500,000 to spend.
That's exactly right.
And truthfully, they're going to be a little worse because that $50,000 means so much more to them.
Right.
So they're going to be more demanding, more picky, like all of those efforts. So I was doing more smaller projects that were getting us to the numbers we needed, but it was just not as fulfilling.
Yeah.
Because we weren't getting to use all these wonderful products we were finding or what have you. And so that was kind of my goal, was to keep a big team, to be the creative director, to be the face of it, to do the nonprofit, but to then kind of ease into those. And maybe that's where the elder cord, like all those lists come in, to do those projects that you see on the cover of magazines.
That's it. For me, partly it was thinking that being on those magazines was kind of the directory for the who's who at the We Got Money Zoo to hire me.
We Got Money Zoo.
But if I'm really being honest, you have always had a very healthy framing of the peer dynamic in our industry. I have not. I have had to grow and mature in not worrying about what my peers thought, nor like waiting for them to give me permission to be here and to take up space. So to me, I honestly know that a lot of wanting to be on that list was proving to myself and to them that I deserved to have a market share. And once I released the need to please them, I reevaluated the list like you said, and I went, the clients ain't even looking at the magazine. I do get really great clients who probably couldn't even tell you what the AD100 is. No offense, AD100. Trust me, if you call me, I'll still entertain the call. But it, reframing the true reason behind why I wanted it.
And you know why that is? And this is probably, it's not controversial at all. Because you're sweet and kind and
you're
nice.
Nice. You are too.
I think that people generally like you. And I think, as we have a friend and we say this all the time, and I think it's a Chicago thing, to be completely honest, nobody's ever going to call me nice, but they will call me kind.
That's right.
Right? And so I have always been the type of person, I'm super extroverted and loud and whatever. So you either love me or you hate me.
Right. Right.
And I can't fix your opinion about me.
You can't choose.
And so I think that allowed me to write off any negative criticisms or any kind of whatever I felt like from other people, including, this is when I was a lawyer, this whatever it was, right? Because I'm like, I can't control that. And I feel like I've been this way my entire life. Yeah. And I had to come to grips. And I'm not going to say, like, there are sometimes I could have controlled it. Right. And I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Kind of like what we were talking about with, sometimes it is you. Yes. But there are often, it's just like, this is who I am. There's only so much I can change. A lot of people aren't going to like it. Yep. And some people are going to love it. And I think I want to be surrounded by the people who love it.
I am grateful to be on the other side of my journey where I don't really care, quite honestly, what anybody else thinks. But I also know that my mantra has become, you don't have to like me, but you're going to respect me. And the reason you're going to respect me is not because I'm doing something that makes you feel good. It's because I have standards and a boundary and I have integrity. And if you could say a lot about me, but you're not going to say that girl lied or said she did something, was going to do something and didn't do it. It's my integrity. You have to give me credit for that. So, to be on the other side of the evolution is a lot of where we are with this podcast episode, which is talking about it is work to get there, whether you had it in your bones and DNA as you do, or I had to really get the gumption to be there. And whether you're a listener and you're anywhere in between, it's also knowing and acknowledging that you still have lingering whispers of ambition.
Yeah.
Right? You still have,
Hustle adjacent.
I'm hustle adjacent, which means I am close enough to see others hustle in the way that I thought I was going to be hustling.
Yeah.
Am I okay with seeing them achieve some of the things that I thought I wanted? Can I certainly look at them and, still support and encourage them? Look, that's your journey. If that's what you want to do, I'm not here to talk you out of it. But I also have to be comfortable in knowing that it was the right choice for me to not need to be in that rat race in that way anymore.
I think an interesting thing, like topic to kind of explore, like kind of in the same vein is like, based on those things you thought you wanted, what did you figure out that it would have taken to get those things?
Oh, I got it.
And what were you not willing to trade? What did you see that make you think that?
I can absolutely tell you the moment where everything changed for me. In 2022, which was the big year, that was when I was writing my process and starting to build out my team, started putting things in place, and was just like struggling with, finding the right clients, finding the right team members, getting everybody in place. We turned the corner of 2023, and I had in my gut a feeling that all of the things that I really, really want in life and that I'm working for, the professional accomplishments that matter, the projects and the types of people I get to work with that have been on my dream board, like everything was about to really come to harvest because I knew I had been hustling and planting the right seeds. I knew I had been making relationships. And I was not confident that I had the infrastructure in place to let my business work on its own without me needing to push everything up the hill. So I hired a consulting firm to come in and get my organization ready.
Okay.
So I wanted them to come in and identify all of the gaps. I wanted them to help me hire the right people. I wanted them to help me train the people, and signed a very, very, very expensive contract, which would have required me to put 5 more projects on my books and stress our current workforce to cover. But I was willing to do that. And we started working together. And this is no ding to the consulting firm because they were doing their consulting thing. But what they needed was me. They needed weekly meetings, bi-weekly check-ins, emails, evaluations of my schedule. Hey, I'm just checking in and asking this question. My executive assistant at the time was spending hours figuring out how to put them on my books. And then they would have to have another day once a month where it was an all-day meeting. And I was like, can you talk to somebody else? Like, is there anybody else? Like,
what can I do?
Thank you. I gotta be the rainmaker. Yeah. But you need so much of my time. And they were like, well, how else are we gonna know how to help your organization? That was so stressful for me. I would almost cry, especially the days that we were doing an all-day meeting. I was, oh God, like I can't talk about another 5-year plan to save my life. Don't ask me how I visualize, but because I'm trying to get there, but I'm sitting here talking to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And we went through 4 months of that, where what I understood and could see was it was draining me. They were challenging me and pushing back and saying, well, you can't go speak and travel and because you need to be here working for your team to make sure they've got to have what they need. And I was like, but that's actually not what I want to do. Remember I told you I got you here because I need to be able to fly. I need freedom. I need you to help me create the space. And you're telling me, no, you need to be grounded here. And you got to say no to some of the things that would have been on your dream board. That feeling was not fun. And I had a visceral reaction to it. I also was having internal conflict with my team, not that they would be able to articulate it directly, but what I sensed was they saw me having a lot of closed door meetings that nothing came out of. So in their mind, they're like, what is going on in there?
Can we get some help here?
Yes. And I'm like, so I would tell the consulting team, can you go meet with them just so that they know it's support. We're not having meetings to try to figure out how to fire people. We're having meetings to try to figure out what the gaps are. The particular consulting firm I was working with was very singularly focused on me.
Right.
And that was just a misalignment. So I had to let them go, try to rebuild my team. But the gift of that very expensive 4 months and draining 4 months was when challenged with the reality that to build a 20-person team that allowed me to execute that vision I had written, it was going to require my butt to be in a seat from 7 to 5, 5 days a week, and sometimes on Saturday. Absolutely not. I will burn it all down first and restart and rebuild, because what it revealed to me is that I value freedom too much. I got into this as someone who likes to work and create and help problem solve with people. I didn't get into this to sign myself up to be shackled to a desk. And if you tell me that to do what
you're
I
trying
say
to
I want
do.
to do, I got to be at a desk. I don't want to do that. That was painful, but that was also real, and I needed that gut check. And as soon as I let them go and our team restructured, some people left, some people stayed, we were very light, and I got the opportunity to be on TV.
Oh, yeah.
And I know, had I listened to that firm,
you wouldn't have had this.
I couldn't have gone to that TV opportunity, which wound up being a full season on a primetime TV show. And I wouldn't have been this light and nimble with the project load. Because again, when I fired them, I didn't have to go looking for as many projects to cover their costs.
Right.
When I lost team members, I was like, oh, raise, less overhead. Like, I just saw it all as good. And I now look back here in 2025 and I'm going, I feel so light and free and flexible now. That's what I aspired to have. And so I can look at other people getting other opportunities and really be unbothered, because what it might require for them in the way of being tethered to get that, I don't want.
Nice.
I don't want it anymore. What
I
about
need
you?
A quick break.
Okay.
This fucking bra.
Oh, it's too tight? Did you hear?
No, I put it in racerback mode.
But you got a jacket on, so
Right,
you
that's
should be
why I'm
able to,
taking it off. 'Cause, oh,
better.
sorry. Okay.
That's real. Okay, when you're ready, I'll toss that question back to you.
All right.
Okay, so what about for you? Did you have like an aha moment, or was it more of a gradual change for you?
You know, it's interesting because it definitely was more gradual, and I'm not 100% sure I am completely done with it. I think that the move, like I said, when I moved to Georgia 4 years ago, I was in a place where I had 6 or 7 people in the office in Oakland. And to be completely honest, I had a great studio manager who literally had been with me for years.
Yeah, you told me about it.
And they knew like how to make me do the stuff I was supposed to do, but also how to get everybody to do other stuff. I remember one of her things, she's like, without me, you would not know how many questions people actually have asked, have, right? And you don't have to deal with that.
That's
and
right.
I know that is your strong suit.
Which is a gift, because I didn't have that buffer.
Yeah.
And it was
magic. And so I had a senior designer who at the time I was training to become the design director. So in my mind, when I was leaving it in capable hands.
Yeah.
And hands that would get there. They weren't there. I believe in building from within. So I like to hire people. I used to like to hire people who were more junior. Then you could build them up to kind of run the way you want. So when I left, that's how I left it. In a matter of a few short months, maybe a full year, that all changed. Either the senior person I was going to senior design and moved out of the country. My senior manager moved down to San Diego. And while I actually kept both of them on, and they still were doing their roles, fine.
Right.
A lot of it needed to be in the office.
Yeah.
And so when I had to make tough decisions, there were some of the first people that I needed to make those tough decisions for. It also was like when things started getting a little bit slower in 2023 and stuff like that. So I was already having to make a couple tough calls. But I think the other thing that really started showing itself is that we had hired during the kind of crazy COVID time just for bodies.
Yeah.
And as I love a good business coach, as you'll probably hear a lot from different things that they tell me. And one of my business coaches told me that I am an abdicator, not a delegator.
Yeah.
And so I believe that we're all adults.
Yeah.
You get your goddamn work done.
I know.
And I don't care. Like if I give you an assignment, I'm never going to ask you about it until either the client asks me about it or something comes up, which means it should have already been done. And not having a good person in the office, then that means all the people that were relatively new, they had never really been in the office with me, they were not of the same ilk.
Right.
And so we were dropping balls. We had a couple really tough years with me being here. Even though I was coming back, I was still the face of, with the clients for the most part, but I was eating a lot of crow.
Yeah.
I was apologizing all the time for simple stuff. I was absorbing holocausts because people were making mistakes.
Yeah.
And this all resulted in like financial implications, right?
Yeah.
Like I was holding up this firm to pay them.
Right. We talked about
I was
this.
using my personal resources to hold up the firm to a certain extent, to make sure that they got paid, even when they were about, when we didn't have it or whatever. And so I remember, this is a great example. I remember, this happened very recently. I was going to give a bonus at the end of a year. And our numbers were not bonus-like. Like, it was kind of BS that I was giving a bonus, but I felt like we had gone down to 4 people and everybody was working really hard. And it was going to be a nominal bonus. It wasn't crazy. And last week of December, or 2 weeks before the end of December, we have an install. Sofa won't fit in the house. And I have to pay the sofa doctor $2,000. You think that's your bonus?
Right.
That's your bonus.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, so just little things like that were happening. And so as I am relaunching, kind of reevaluating, and really taking on a lot of the burden myself, I'm trying to get us back to where we were when I felt like I was proud of what we were doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that means getting back up to when we had a lot of people.
Right.
Because I think even, now that I'm thinking about it, when we were at the max 10, actually, there were a couple people here in Georgia, so I must have already moved. So it must have been right around the time that I moved. And there was a point when I knew I was moving that I started hiring people in Georgia because it's cheaper, and I knew I would need some people anyway. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this new world looks like. Because if we could do magic with 3 people here in Georgia and project managers in the different cities in California, then why not?
Right.
I don't think I need a brand and social manager anymore, right? I don't think I mean.
That's where I am. I'm tidy but mighty. And we've got 3.5 people on my team, and we get it done because it only takes a certain amount of projects. I can really be selective with the client and the project because it's going to cover our costs. I make sure our team members are paid very well. I think I am abdicator-ish. I think there's a little bit more control in me that I will check in at least periodically.
I won't even remember to check in.
No, I
That's
do.
How bad
I
it is.
am the worst because I'm like that mother hen chick. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to help you out. Next week is the deadline. You good? Yeah. And so then I abdicate, to your point. And then when it's due for review, because I'm never going to let that be the first time the client sees it, like we review it. Now I'm disappointed because I tried to tell you I was going to check.
Yeah.
You told me you had it. And now you're sitting here telling me, well, I couldn't have had it because I didn't have blah, blah, blah from you.
But you didn't ask me for that. See, mine is different. I would be like, the day before is like, we need to show it to the client. Where is it? What you mean you ain't done it?
Right.
So now I got to stay up all night. So it's. So anyway, so the point is I recognize that, and I actually say this, and it's only partially true because I think some of these people that I hired did suck. But I recognize that it was poor leadership on my part.
It always comes back.
Yeah, that I should have been more on top of it. But I was also navigating a move. I was in a 3-year renovation from hell that taxed my sanity. My marriage, everything, right? And so there was only so much I could care about these adults that I'm paying thousands of dollars to get their job done. And so, like I said, I still say it's all my fault. At the end of the day, it's my company, and I could have done a better job leading and or picking people. But
I wouldn't say it's all your fault. It is your responsibility. I'm saying our because I'm the same. I always look at a misstep as an opportunity to learn. I feel like feedback is data. It's very unemotional. It might be embarrassing. It might hurt my feelings that we dropped the ball, but I'm always going to start by looking at what we could have done to avoid it. And even if that's an internal issue, like not having somebody properly cast, I'm going to look at myself. I still got to make the call and fire you. It still sucks, but it's my fault that I didn't properly cast you, right? Or to the last part of 2023, it's realizing I don't have the capacity to be here to train you as a young designer. I kind of came in with assumptions that you had some things baked in. That's my bad. I assumed because you went to school for design and had experience that you would know some certain basic things, but it's ultimately my fault because I hired you and didn't do my due diligence. And so it's never going to be all on you. It's going to be at least a shared responsibility. So that's why I push back when you say it's all your fault, because I don't think
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that it's
the buck stops with you, though.
I'm still paying them, and I'm paying for the mistakes, right? At the end of the day. And what I think, but your point is valid. Like, what have I learned from this? I've learned that now when I talk to applicants, it needs to be very clear that you're a self-starter.
Yes.
that
What does that
you
mean to
are not
you?
going to be on my ass all day asking me questions, because
Yeah.
there are bad questions. I
Yeah.
don't believe that. I don't believe that all questions are good questions.
Mhm.
No, use your brain.
Mhm.
Use this thing that called the interwebs
Not
and
the
look some stuff up.
interwebs. And
Don't
also,
come to me without a solution.
listen, these days there's
Right.
ChatGPT-ish because that
I
that
still have to tell people. I tell my team, like, use ChatGPT to make this sound better.
just double check it because Chad
Don't
will.
let them. Don't. ChatGPT is a whole hot mess, and I feel like he's about to ruin society.
Right.
But he will fix your grammatical errors.
At the very least,
He will
check
make
your
you
work.
sound smarter than you are.
Or be a good starting point where you can then do some research. But again, to your point, there's way too many resources for you to be coming down the hall asking me, how do I?
Don't ask me how nothing. If
I-
you can't get on YouTube, how do you think I figured it out?
Right.
I got on YouTube.
Right. YouTube or Google University.
And so I think that, so now I'm looking at that, a self-starter. I
Yeah.
want somebody who is about service in a way
Yeah.
that isn't just, I don't know, it's just I feel like I'm all about vibes. And so
Yeah.
I usually kind of hire based on vibes. Like
Uh-huh.
if you got the qualifications, I usually am like, let's just see who you are.
Yeah.
And I think the vibes I'm looking for are just very different.
Yeah. I think
And that helps.
it's
from
such
other
a
people.
good point because I would probably never have said it was vibe, but I do think you're right. I think for me, if I was to expand my team, which I don't feel compelled to do anytime soon because I feel like it's the sweet spot we're in right now. But if I was going to hire again, I think what I would try to articulate is that I'm looking for someone who really is, I'm trying to get a sense of, are you coming to be happy with this job? Or are you already looking at this as the stepping stone to the next? And so what that means is if you're already looking for the next thing, you are impatient. You are not really appreciating the season that this job is. You don't, like, if you come to me and say, I want to be hired as a design assistant, and I am excited about what that means because that means I'm not doing drawings, I'm not running meetings, I'm organizing the sample room, but I love samples. I want to learn. That's very different than I want you to hire me as a design assistant because I've always wanted my own interior design firm. Right. And I want to learn everything I can from you.
So I can leave.
Boom. People, I'm like,
and there's a season for that. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. Everybody doesn't need to be with you forever. I've decided I will not be hiring any design assistants. Okay. I will not be hiring anybody straight out of college.
Yeah.
I want you to have some real world experience. Corporate America is even better.
We've all gotten there. I'm for sure there with you. I have done my time.
Of all the things that I don't know about ChatGPT replacing, but there are too many other people who are hungry in different countries that can do my CAD drawing.
That is a good point. A lot of
things that I want you to do, and honestly, and they shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah,
right. Like
no
they're not mad that they don't get to talk to the client. They're not complaining about the things that they're not even ready to do. And so I am at the current point, and I'm not saying maybe that'll change.
Yeah,
because my ideal structure is still creative director, maybe and like senior designers with people working under them. But those people don't need to be local.
Yeah,
those people don't need to be young.
Yeah. I think that's fair. And I think if I ever was to pivot to, one of the things we want to talk about is kind of like how you knew you wanted to make a change and what does success look like for you now. I for sure think that I've been given certain God-given talents that are beyond just design, and I love entertainment. So I love that I got to do TV. I would want to do more TV. I would want to do more brand partnerships. I would want to do more speaking engagements. I love doing this. That's why I understood and had such a physiological reaction when that consulting firm told me you can't do those. I'm like, that's the part I actually like.
Yeah.
What do you mean? So to do that well, if there's still going to be an Arianne Belazaire Interiors out there, I have to release the day-to-day operations. And I would be open to younger talent if someone was at the helm who understood how to mentor and lead them.
Who's better at it than we are.
Also, I'm not gifted in that. That is the gift that when he was dosing out gifts, patience, and mentorship for young talent.
Oh, I'm super patient.
I did not get that.
Zoe would say the same.
I did not get that.
Super patient.
No,
I'm not. No, but that's a good point. Like, I think if there's somebody else running the day to day, or just somebody below you that has that patience, it changes your relationship with your whole team.
Yes, it allows me. I want to be the fun aunt. I
Yeah.
want to be checking in and like really excited and cheering you guys on for your work, but I don't have the mental capacity or time to be the to be the teacher, do you know?
Yeah, I will say that this kind of leads really into kind of like the last thing we said we're going to talk about, where looking back at the heyday of the firm in Oakland, when I had a lot of people and like literally we would like pop bottles on a Friday, or don't
So
let us
fun.
have a presentation and the client doesn't finish their bottle. Like we would just go out. And they started at some point. That's how you know you're getting old or you're becoming like the real boss, because they like started going to yoga and stuff together. But it was like they had created a little family, a little team.
A dream. That really is
and
the
so
dream.
that is a part of me that sees, like, remembers that and like, we did that.
Yeah.
We did that, and we were doing good work. Everybody was happy.
Yeah.
We were still working. Everybody was working 40 hours a week. Like, it wasn't slave labor, no expectations on the weekend. And so there's a part of me that still loved that and would think that I would enjoy it. And so I wonder, like, what we should talk about, what it is, like the quiet grief we have, right?
Yeah.
About seeing other people achieve the things that you once thought you wanted, or the things you still want, but you have now decided take a back seat to your current stage in life.
Yeah.
And the mental work it takes to keep choosing that every day, right? Because there's a part of me that's like, screw this. Let's let me start hiring people.
Right.
The work will come, or we'll make this work, versus, Kelly, you know what you need right now. You need a little peace. You need a little quiet. Like, you need to figure this out before you try to get back to that. So, because I think it's interesting that our things are a little bit different, right? I don't want that right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want it later.
Yeah.
And you're more so like, you have chosen that this is not what you want anymore, and you're seeking something else.
Yes.
So what is it like? I would love like a story or so of just like how you are choosing, or how you feel when you see other people getting some things that you might have wanted before, and like how you keep choosing the right path for you right now.
I think of all the things that I look at others do or achieve or experience that I released as my vision is absolutely that dream of creating a culture. So I wanted to be the Google or whatever young hip company it is for interior design. I wanted young people to want to come work for me. I wanted it to be very collaborative. I wanted us to have fun. I wanted us to go do, wine tastings together or yoga or whatever. Or I wanted to create a community. And because I feel like design is so much more fun when you can create and collaborate with others. So part of me, when I see other teams and their camaraderie, like one designer that I think I just appreciate and look at so much with how she presents her social media is Marie Flanagan. And she shares her experiences, her day-to-day, her social media with her team. And I look at that and I'm like, that's what I wanted to create. And so part of me is like, man, that was like, I just could never put the building blocks together to make that happen. But when I get to go to my office and it is quiet and it's my play space, and the way that I organize the sample room is how I left it in, I can work in any of the rooms and I can do social media content one day and I feel like I'm in here playing on camera and they're down the hall slaving away on drawing sets or whatever. My team is now virtual. So my studio is now my play space. And every time I walk in, I literally say, I'm so glad this is all for me. Isn't that crazy?
I love that.
I'm so glad that I don't have someone asking me, where have you been? Or, I told you, I get to wake up and come in the office when I want to. If I don't feel like going today and I want to stay home with the kids one day, I get to do that.
Yeah.
And every time I have a little twinge of, look at the team dynamic, I remember how peaceful it is to not have somebody looking for me.
I love that. That's actually a great reminder.
Yeah. So
I need something like that.
What's our verdict as we wrap up this episode? Are we unbothered? Unbothered, sort of?
I am unbothered right now.
Yeah.
I would say, as we say this whole podcast thing about being hustle adjacent, is that there's still this whispering ambition, right? That's like, okay, you're unbothered right now because you're making good choices.
Yeah.
But anybody who knows me knows I only make good choices for so long. Like, let's just be honest. So
I love that about you. I don't think you know that about yourself.
In a couple months, in a couple weeks, at the end of 12 weeks, who knows?
At the end of 12 weeks, you will have finished The Artist Way and have 2 new team members.
Exactly, right?
I'll be like, Kelly, what? What are you doing?
Who knows if I'll keep making good choices? Or maybe that is a good choice because we have broken open this market that I've been trying to open up. You know what I mean? So I think right now I would say I'm unbothered, and I'm still pretty good about it. Like as I said, I have a couple great designer groups that I talk to and
Yeah.
text with all day. And so I know like they have a book coming out, or I know that they have a lighting line coming out before like, and sit with that, not in a way, and I'm finding that I'm sitting with it like, that's great for them.
Yeah. You get
Not
to
any
celebrate.
jealousy, not any, like, it literally is nothing. I'm like, I don't want to do a book.
Yeah.
I don't want, like, that right now to me feels overwhelming in a
Yeah.
way that as I choose me and my family and my current state of mind, mental state, I don't need it.
Yeah.
So I would say unbothered, but I'm just gonna leave it open
Yeah.
because next week
It might
I
be
might
different.
be annoyed.
Sort of.
Yes. Or more than
Well,
sort of.
we want you to let us know in the DMs whether you're unbothered sort of. Can you relate to our stories? Can you relate to the feeling of giving up a dream or having to course adjust? And how are you feeling about it? We hope that you're loving the podcast. Please follow us on all the socials and share this episode with a friend.
Bye.